Good morning. We fixed our cameras. This is amazing. This work is absolutely amazing. I'm wearing my our new MLS team's welcome shirt for them coming soon.
Because you folks have a football stadium now.
We do. It's amazingly large too. It's quite impressive.
What's
It's not
it
why
seat?
we're on the
20
call.
people?
Huh?
What's it seat? 20 people?
20,000 or something like that.
Wow, that's good.
They sold out their what do you call it? Their like B team, the STL City 2. They sold them out the other day playing a Germany team as a friendlies match.
Yeah.
It was pretty impressive. It was very impressive.
That naked lady on the back balcony isn't there this week.
No, not this week. But if you look closely, you can see where she was.
For those that didn't see her in the first episode, she was walking around naked on that balcony.
For those that did, right up here, just back and forth. Okay, we have two topics for today. It changed our order of topics. The news that in the last moment. Oh, did you see the Netflix special that they just put on about the history?
I started watching it. I mean, you know.
So for everybody knows, there's now a Netflix special, 4 parts right now about the history of FIFA and corruptions and things. But days ago, we're recording this, I think, a day after. We'll have this up quick. But they announced a total 180 and have decided no beer at the stadiums any longer.
But they never had beer. They had Budweiser.
Well, true. But InBev and Anheuser are now screaming.
I knew you can't say that because you're from St. Louis.
Oh, I can't say it because I don't drink it. I don't. I'm from St. Louis and I do not drink Anheuser. I don't drink beer. But they decided at the last moment, 3 days before everything starts, there will be no beer in the fan zone, which was from, we talked about this, the first line of security to the stadium. Now there'll be Bud Zero. They said Bud Zero will be there, but nothing else. Now InBev Anheuser is screaming breach of contract,
right?
Because they're supposed to be sold. So you brought it up about England.
So in England, the actual stadium, if the game is on and you can see the pitch, you can't buy a beer or drink a beer for the last 40 years, basically because
on the way in,
you can get it on the but you can't take it in with you and stuff and drink it in your seat or anything like that. Basically, because there was so much violence and stuff in English football. So
take them back to Brazil. Remember, we had this same issue in Brazil. Do you remember the law we passed? The Bud law.
I honestly don't remember. All I remember, because it's never been something that's really bothered us. So
Brazil was a dry, like England, was no more alcohol at the stadiums to reduce violence. And Anheuser said then we won't be a sponsor, so they created that temporary Bud law. If you remember now, they let them sell just low-end, low alcohol beers at stadiums, which they never allowed, only for the World Cup.
And we have bought beers at stadiums, but the only reason we've actually bought beers is to get the cups that they came in. So
sometimes the cups are really cool.
And so for those of you that are concerned that Chris and I are not going to be able to consume beer at the World Cup, this has never been an issue for us.
No.
And it's not going to be an issue in Qatar.
We do a lot of water at the games. We drink a lot of, plus this one will be 80 degrees every day, at least to 85. We drink an incredible amount of water. You promised
me it'd be in the 70s, you said.
That night, 80s during the day.
You said it'd be in the 70s and I wouldn't get hot and sweaty.
Well, I thought the games are all late at night. No, the one game we have at 6, she'll probably be, like 80 degrees. You won't be that hot.
Oh, my God.
You'll be fine. And you can't wear short shorts.
I can't wear my 70s short shorts?
No, 70 short shorts of basketball are not allowed either. God. So that jumps us into our other topic.
How long is it like Catholic school? Do they have to be down to the knees?
Yes, definitely to the knees.
I think my underpants go that far. I'm not sure about my shorts.
If that long. So most of the shorts I picked up are like mid calf level that I got from
what kind of tartan pattern are you going for this year?
I don't know yet, but I just know that I'm trying to make sure they don't talk to me ever for the outfits I have on, due to many of their other rules. So the beer thing is at hotels. The fan zone will have it, though. The Fan Fest, they have 3 big Fan Fest areas. They'll have beer. And you can't have liquor at your house unless you have a liquor license. What
about licorice?
Yes, you can have licorice.
Licorice
Do they even sell licorice? Is that a thing over there?
I know it is in the Netherlands.
As I drop one of my earplugs. So there's that. Then the hotels, and someone posted, was that Coatsy? Someone posted about the price of a pint in some areas, and that was
I think they're saying it's going to be about $13 a pint. They promised something like 7 or 8.
Well, that's what you pay at stadiums in the U.S. for a beer.
Yeah, and but yeah, so I think there's definitely issues with Qatar. I mean, you and I since the beginning have been uncomfortable with the whole Qatari policies towards LGBTQ plus and things like that. But I think it's also important that people don't become hypocrites. If you're driving a car that's got petrol in it, unless you're getting ethically sourced petrol, you are supporting regimes like Qatar. You're using petrol that has come from oil from places like Qatar.
Apple products.
Also, have a look at the policies of some of the U.S. parties here, and you'll see that a lot of them and a lot of people that vote for those parties want to be like Qatar. So I think it's important that, yes, we raise awareness for how shitty it is for people in Qatar, but also we need to make sure people don't forget that it's pretty shitty in our home countries for these same folks. So yeah, it's doesn't feel great. Chris pulled the cancer card, forcing me to go.
Yep, I never know if I'll be there in 4 years.
It's like, I had promised him I'd take his ashes.
No,
it'd be certainly cheaper.
I said scatter them
in the flight, but just taking ashes.
I wonder what rules you would break there. So that's. I
wonder what shorts I would have put you in.
It's one of the other things we talked about.
So actually, thinking about this, I was thinking about this morning. You need to take Chris Jr. because one of the games our tickets are not together.
He's already packed.
Excellent.
He's already packed.
And whilst I remember, just before we started this call, this is the quote of the day for me from Chris, which was, "Why are you wider but not taller?"
That was a Skype reference that we couldn't get the video right. Like right now, he was in the previous one, he's like this big and like over here. So we fixed that.
That's just how I look in regular life. It's just, wider but not taller.
Well, you've posted some wonderful past videos, but this one will be interestingly different. And we've said this before, and that we also value and appreciate what they say about their religion in Qatar is that's what it is. That's what their religion is. It's what they're telling people in advance before you come. This is the country. This is our rules. It's okay if you don't come. We understand. And based upon how tickets have been selling out, people are coming.
Yeah, I'm just upset that we haven't been paid to go there like some apparently of these fans have, because we would have happily have done it for money.
Yeah, definitely.
And
or better accommodations or suite access. Remember the McDonald's suites that used to be around? Is McDonald's a sponsor at this one?
I have no idea. Do they? Well, I think they had McDonald's in Saudi Arabia. I'm going to guess they got McDonald's in Qatar.
Well, I wonder if they're a sponsor. So at the previous ones, they had McDonald's Kids. Remember the kids we covered?
Well, they had the dancers, which they got rid of.
Yeah, but then they had
specifically there was one girl they got rid of.
Yes. They had the McDonald's suites that we saw at 2 World Cups for sure that were separate entrance, separate VIP red carpet, air conditioned.
So Chris, you work for HCL now. I heard HCL have some involvement in the World Cup.
I know they just partnered with Ferrari last week.
Yeah, they could have picked a better team.
They're doing some services, I think, of what I've read on the press releases.
So I hope you're using back channels to try and get us some, sweet.
Man, I'll do my best and see what we come up with, which I bet will be nothing except us sitting in.
You're not in sales, are you? So you've got no chance.
No. Not in sales.
If you're in sales and marketing, you would have had a chance, but
you are correct. But
so anyway, but the World Cup, we're recording this on Saturday morning. The World Cup does start tomorrow on Sunday with Qatar versus Ecuador.
Yes.
And, there are stories going around. There's a black ghost behind me. Look.
Yeah, I see him.
There are stories going around that Qatar is trying to bribe the Ecuadorian players. So supposedly there's been payments of like $7 million so that they don't even get embarrassed and lose their first game. In the
opening game against Ecuador, who's ranked way, way higher in the possibility matrix.
And then on Sunday is a big day, which will be the first day Wales has played in the World Cup for 63 years, I think it is.
Yep.
And they're playing USA.
Yep.
So that game I'm looking forward to. So basically a draw, aka tie, would be not bad for both teams, but a Wales win would be good. I would love to see Wales go through to the next round because we would then have tickets to see them.
So let's help everybody. What time in the USA are the games?
I think they're 2 p.m, something like that. Was it 2 and 4 or 12 and 2?
12. No, they're 3 hours apart, I thought, though. All games were 3 hours. He's going to pull that up while we talk. So one of the things that we've been dealing with is, he's in a different time zone than I am now. And then we're trying to convert it to the time zone over there to see what time games are.
So I'm not even close sometimes.
Right. It's like 8 in the morning, isn't it?
Qatar versus Ecuador is tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern time.
Okay.
Which is a civilized 4 o'clock in England.
Yep.
Group B, which happens on Monday, which is England versus Iran, is 8 a.m.
So there's only 2 games.
Two games a day.
There's only one tomorrow?
No, 3 games. So there's one tomorrow, which is the first game. Okay. And then on Monday, there's 3 games. So the game times are 8 a.m., which is England versus Iran.
These are Eastern times?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
So yours would be 7 a.m.
Yeah, at 8, okay.
And I'm glad I don't live in Pacific time.
Correct.
Then Senegal versus Netherlands is at 11 a.m. And then at 2 p.m., USA versus Wales.
7-10-1. That's all I need to know. 7-10-1.
Yeah. So 8-11-2.
Yep.
Or 3-4. God, look at this speedy maths here.
Yep.
3-4-7.
So one of the things we wanted to point out, and I'm pull it up now.
And if you're on the Pacific coast, you'll have to work it out yourself. But if you just go to Google and search World Cup games, it comes up with the matches in your time zone.
That's a great tip. So our first one is Ecuador versus Senegal. Now, here's what I noticed. The doors open at 3 o'clock Qatar time.
That's so you can get some drinking in.
The game is at 6. Well, that's also to let all those people in to the stadiums because our second game, if you remember, is at the largest stadium they have there. Yes, we are at the largest stadium they have on our second match, Australia versus Denmark, which will be huge anyway.
Which we saw them play in Russia, and it was a game where it was their third game in the group stage, and they both were miserable players, especially Denmark just wasted time for the last 20 minutes tapping the ball around. It was super irritating to watch.
Yeah.
So hopefully this one will be more important.
That stadium holds 70,000.
Okay.
So that's our biggest stadium that we have the entire trip is 70,000. Now,
did we go through last time what games we were actually seeing?
Yes,
I think we did.
You did, because we talked about.
I'm old now, so I can't remember what we've talked about before.
All our other stadiums are between 40 and 60,000 people, and we do get to see the really, really cool modernistic one on our fourth game. Only one time, but we do go to.
What's amazing about some of these stadiums, they've built them for the World Cup and they're demolishing them afterwards, which is this is why, again, Qatar should never have got the World Cup. It's not like they're trying to build some huge league there and awareness there. This was purely like, let me show you the diamonds on my ring type thing. It's like, hey, we got the money, we can do this. And yeah.
Well, what was cool, I wish they would have done it. Remember the Lego stadium they were talking about when I say Lego? It was the design that they could put it on a ship and out of containers and grids, put it together and move it and, assemble it again. Yeah. But that never came to fruition.
I'm very impressed, with the clouds. Chris, at your internationality that you said Lego and not Legos.
No, I'm very smart. I'm not going to say
And
that.
then next you'll be actually saying maths instead of math.
I said that the other day and someone did look at me funny. I did. I said, what about your maths? And they were like, we won't have that fight. But then the other part.
Have you switched your toilet paper the right way around yet?
So now I do it diagonally. I have a sideways roll that on a stand.
You still putting in the triangle at the end, the fold?
Yes, I fold it every time I get up. Okay. It's folded. What about the? Remember, he said something about the covers and the clouds, like the stadiums. None of them, of course, have.
By the way, just thinking about toilet paper a second.
Yeah.
If you do the hotel fold on a toilet roll, you have to have it going over the top because if you put it over the back, you'd never see the little triangle fold.
You're correct.
More evidence. Along with the patent application.
Well, they just do that for show.
My way is the
because
right
they don't like to let it sit there just flapping in the wind. They got to give it a fold. For some reason, that makes it look nicer. I don't know why it does, but it actually.
Right there next to the telephone, next to the toilet. Yeah.
It's like a napkin in a restaurant. If it's folded up fancy, but it's still the same napkin, it just looks better. Like they gave effort.
The food tastes the same though.
Oh yeah. So the last part we could cover today is the food. That you did a good scan.
I'm actually okay with what came up, which is it looks like 95% of the takeout places and eating places around us are Indian food and a little bit of Asian kind of like fusion. And I'm all okay with that. I've got no problem with that at all. It may be difficult because we have a game every day.
Yes.
And just thinking about timing and spicy Indian food and games, hopefully it will not be another flag situation from South Africa. Hopefully that never happens again.
Or Brazil for the flight home.
Yeah. So, well, it was you that claimed they had a parasite from that trip.
Oh, we did. We had to have. That was the horrible worst.
I didn't lose any weight. You lost weight. I'm like, well, nothing's happened to me.
I did. No, so the food. So we found out, all about our residents. They put updated pictures of our apartment online.
I bet ours will look nothing like that.
I bet it won't, but we're going to compare them side by side.
We should screenshot those before.
In case it changes.
And then compare them to it. I will say that the place in Russia looked exactly like the photos. Oh, yes. Because when we looked at the photos, we're like, well, there's no way somewhere can look like that if it's brand new. And it turned out, yes, you could build somewhere that looked like the 70s in the 2010s.
Yeah, and they bought the overstock from our 1970s from somewhere in a warehouse and built those.
It was from an old American TV show,
right.
Like quiz show, Griffin.
We should be able to sneak in at least one more episode before we go with last minute items. And this is the holiday week in America, for those that even care.
Most people do.
Not overseas. They don't care.
Well, no. They're thankful to get a week off from Americans.
And then you and I meet up this coming weekend. And then we are off and running. That's it.
That's right. So for those that... no, it doesn't even matter. I was going to mention World Cup pool, but it'll be closed by the time you publish this. So
we're gonna publish it today.
Well, if you publish it today, World Cup pool closes at midnight. WorldCup-pool.com.
Yep. WorldCup-pool.com.
I do it every 4 years.
Yep.
I fire up the VM and launch the server and wait for Windows updates to happen.
And then a bunch of friends get together and lay our bets on what's going to happen. You make a lovely pie chart of who you think will win.
And then if anybody is around on the 25th, is Thanksgiving 24th and 25th is the day after?
24th, 25th is Friday, yeah.
So Friday, 2:00, my house, England versus USA.
Oh.
I have the flags and the bunting. And actually, I've got us a Welsh flag and a USA flag.
I wish I'd known how to come a day early.
Well, you're just such a slacker. Well, you should change your flight.
Good luck. It's the day after. It's Thanksgiving weekend. Good luck changing flights.
The worst thing that would happen is you'd be in line for like 10 hours.
Correct.
And be bumped to 6 different flights.
Not leaving St. Louis, strangely, because we're an American hub and I've got status that I can easily. That's not a problem.
Yeah. Well, you're welcome if you wanted to come along. If you wanted to come for Thanksgiving, you're welcome too.
No, that I've got to do here. Mother would be upset, so I've got to do that here.
Yeah.
So for those
we did get some questions on the Facebook page.
We have more? Let's take one more.
From one person, there were some questions.
Yeah.
So we will address those in the next one.
Okay.
There was some that I'm like, there was one about what about the curse of the World Cup, and I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about. And I think it must be something that's been made up by ESPN or some kind of American TV show.
We'll look that one up for the next one. Let's do the next one. We'll do a Q&A unless there's any other big news like the whole BeerGate that just happened.
So in your house there, do you have a security camera in the ceiling watching you all the time?
Mm-hmm. I do, right there. I want to make sure everything's recorded. There's one over there, too.
Oh, don't see that one.
No, I know, but I'm saying there's one over there, too. It's a nice one. It's actually very fancy. And it records the lady on the balcony all the time, too. It points out.
It's a 360, but it only points in one direction.
Yeah, that's right. It narrows.
And for those that may be interested, there's a man that appears on the other balcony, but he's behind Chris's shoulder.
Lean right over there. Lean that way. I will stop the recording. We will talk a minute more.
Yeah. And by the way, when we get back from Qatar, we'll say mean things about it. We just don't want to risk it before we go, in case they see the videos.
This is true. Someone's
we don't want to get arrested.
Someone's searching the internet now. Okay,
yeah.
I'm going to stop the recording. Everyone else, we'll have another one in a couple days. Say goodbye.
Everybody. Bye-bye.
Be sure to like and subscribe. It helps Chris's ego.